Live from QSR Automation Studios in New York City, it's the Hospitality Hangout Podcast with the restaurant guy and the finance guy.
Thank you, Hattie. I want to welcome you all.
I didn't finish my opening line.
Thought that was the extent of your opening line.
No.
Oh.
QSR Automation, making service easier for everyone.
That was an important line. I'm glad you interrupted me.
Well, now we're definitely not getting paid, Jimmy.
Well, I'm glad you interrupted me so that you could go back to complete the proper introduction of this QSR.
Should I do it again, or are we good?
We're good.
Yeah, we're good. All right, let's go, Jim. But we got a great podcast,
like Frank
by the way.
Sinatra. It's one take, my friend. Listen, I want to welcome our listeners more formally to the Hospitality Hangout, a hospitality-focused podcast where the founders, that's us, Shatsy.
That's us, baby.
Branded Hospitality share their insights and bring technology and innovation leaders that are making things happen in the industry we love. My name is Jimmy Frischling, otherwise known as the finance guy. I want to introduce my partner, Mr. Michael Schatzberg, also known as the interrupting restaurant guy.
That's me, baby, and thank you for the kind introduction. And to all those listening, feel free to call me Shatsy. And I got to tell you, Jimbo, we are the personalities behind Branded Hospitality.
We're certainly that.
We are at the intersection of capital, technology, hospitality, innovation, automation, and hot chicken. Jimbo, nobody knows hot chicken like we know hot chicken.
You know what? I think our guests know a thing or two about hot chicken.
Well, I got to tell you something. But before I get into it, Jimbo, I just want to say one thing that's on my mind. I was tossing and turning last night. I went to Nicola's up on the Upper East Side. Had a delicious meal. Sat at the bar watching the Knick game. It was great.
That's always a good game.
A little indigestion, so I was up tossing and turning.
Not a great plug for Nicola's.
you know, look, it goes down great, okay? And I can guarantee Romano's not listening to a podcast. This I can guarantee, okay? You know what? And I was thinking, you know what really keeps restaurant operators up at night?
You tell me.
KDS. Tickets. Losing tickets in the kitchen.
Kitchen display system.
Kitchen display. You lose tickets. Someone says, where's my food? We don't have a ticket. They go, that ticket's gone.
Yes.
You need a KDS. Dupes are out. KDS is in.
Dupes out.
Dupes are out. KDS in. And you know what QSR Automation does?
Tell me.
They're the largest KDS supplier, manufacturer, distributor, company, whatever you want to call them, they're the best at it.
Look at that.
They're the best at it.
Let me tell you, the best.
They just launched, Jimmy, the Connect Smart Recipe Plus system. I've used this. I've seen this. I have it in my house, in the kitchen.
Nice.
I have a KDS in my kitchen, and I'm cooking with this KDS. I'm cooking for Jillian, and she's loving what I'm doing, and I have all the recipes right there, Jimmy. I love it. So we are super excited about KDS and QSR Automation, what they're doing. I implore every operator in the entire, not just the country, Jimmy, the entire world. The world. And and soon to be on the moon, because I understand they're doing some development up there.
Get to Mars and call me when you get to Mars.
I don't think there's oxygen. There's something wrong with QSR Automation. You got to check it out. Jimmy, enough of the selfish plug. Let's jump into it because we got some great guests.
We do. And I'm very excited because we don't just have one guest. That would be enough if we just had one. We have two. We have two amazing guests from our friends at Hattie B's Hot Chicken. Nick Bishop, Jr., co-founder. Todd Williams, co-president and CFO. This is going to be this could be a good episode.
It is. We don't usually have two guests. We're lucky enough to get one guest.
Lucky enough to get one. We got two today.
And sometimes I sit here just looking at you and like, do we have a guest? Like, there's no guest showed up. It's embarrassing. But today we have two guests. I don't know how we do it. I don't know what we're paying these guys. But I got to check with the production team because maybe that's why we have no money here at the podcast, because we pay everything out.
You know what? We can't pay them what they're worth. Well, we pay them what we can.
Well, let me tell you, before we get into this incredible to Nick and Todd, I got to tell you, I'm just going to talk a little bit about, because we'd like to know how did Nick and Todd get to where they are with 14,000 Hattie B's nationwide, the greatest chicken in the world. It's just delicious. Todd,
I think you should leave the numbers to me, but why don't you do your Fraser Crane moment?
Well, believe me, they'll tell you. They'll tell you. I'm telling you, I'm not off by many stores. They got a lot of stores out there. So Todd, he goes to 1997. He goes to Biola University. Great school, great football team, Division I. They do some amazing stuff at Biola. He's there, and he's on the Biola football team, and he doesn't want to play football anymore. So he leaves, gets a degree in accounting. He's off the Biola team, and he takes many different jobs at KPMG. Jim, you know that company, right?
Yes.
Big accounting firm, right? But you know what? He's bored with accounting. He doesn't like accounting. His mom is infuriating. Why don't you just study accounting if you're not going to be an accountant? It's always a great job. His dad tells me, you're an accountant. Jimmy, what do you get?
You always get work.
You always get work, right?
Get work as an
No,
accountant.
Mom, no, Dad. I don't want to do that. I'm going to Clam Jumper Restaurant. I'm going to Clam Jumper Restaurant, and I'm going to work there. And his mom and dad, they don't speak anymore. They don't speak anymore, okay? So that's Todd, okay? So that's how he gets into it, okay? Now Nick. Nick and Todd, they don't really know each other yet. They don't know each other yet.
Okay.
All right? And Nick is going to get political science. He loves politics and he loves science. He puts them together. What do you got? Political science. He loves it. But he also likes music. He loves music and he's politics and he's science, and he goes to Belmont University. He was on the soccer team, Division I also. And he worked in the music business in Nashville, loves Nashville, and he starts seeing Nashville and chicken and hot, and he's there, and he's bachelorette parties, and he's going crazy, and he takes the love of music, right, and the love of Nashville, and he meets Todd, because Todd's an accountant, and he puts it all together, and Hattie Bees was born. That's it. Hattie Bees was born. Let's get into it, Jimmy. Let's introduce our guest, because I got to tell you, we got to find out how much did Shatsy get right. Wow. And how much did Shatsy get wrong? Yeah. That should be the new game we play.
That would be a good game.
That would be a good game.
I'm curious myself of how much of that was truth and maybe
let's bring Todd and Nick
All right,
in.
welcome to the show, fellas.
Hello.
Hey, great to be here. And your version is a lot more fun than real life.
I think something right, didn't I?
You got something right. Did you say you got something?
Yeah.
Biola, right? So who went to Biola?
That was
Todd
me.
did.
After
the football team.
Yeah,
I
right.
don't have the build for football, but it was close.
I remember watching Biola in the Price Chopper Bowl. The Price Chopper Bowl.
Yeah.
I think it was foosball he played. Foosball.
Foosball. That makes a lot more sense. Foosball, not football. Foosball.
It's good stuff. That's all I know. So let's get into it, Todd and Nick. Let's talk about it. That's how you guys met, or wait.
I think there is a meet cute story,
Yeah,
and
let's
I don't want to move on with the episode until we hear from Nick and Todd about how these gentlemen came together.
It wasn't anything cute. I think my dad did set us up though on like a blind date. Just
It was like an online dating site, kind of.
Nice.
No.
There was no Bumble back in '97, was there?
There was something. Nick was looking. He said, I aspire to be a numbers person, someone who's very disciplined, organized, ideally in the accounting field.
Yep.
Todd was interested in someone who could, look at the world of government through the lens of a musician. And there he found Nick. Was that the come together? Was that the meet cute moment?
Pretty close, I actually met Nick's dad first. He had a restaurant down south of Nashville in Franklin called Bishop's Meat and Three. I had my own accounting business at the time. They became a client. Nick and his dad started Hattie Bees. They became a client, and Nick was really running the first restaurant, and his dad introduced me to him, and really kind of hit it off over. I think it was like a shared love of golf initially that like bonded us together.
It's always golf. Golf brings everyone together.
Golf junkies.
Right.
But over the years, as Nick Sr.'s role he stepped away, and Nick Jr. stepped into leadership position, we just kind of became best buds through working in the trenches. So
listen, I love it, and we love founders. We're big believers in entrepreneurs. We like great stories, as well, ones that especially involve families. So Nick Sr. Is obviously involved. We also love names. We take names very seriously. So can you share a little more about Hattie Bees, and specifically how Hattie's got her name?
Yeah, my family's been in restaurants for, I don't know, over 50 years now, going back to my grandfather. My dad and both of his brothers were all in the business. And so it's always been kind of a family thing, big meals together and ways we kind of gather. And so I've always felt there was a lot of importance in restaurants, and understandably, growing up around it, I was determined to kind of blaze my own path and tried to get away from restaurants as much as possible, but I always kind of was pulled back to them for one reason or another. And so I had grown up in family restaurants, and then my dad started Bishop's Meat and Three. another family restaurant, went and helped him run that for a couple of years until Hattie's really came out of that. And we knew we wanted to do something that.
Who's Hattie, Nick?
Who's Hattie? Hattie is my oldest daughter.
There we go. Now we're getting. I mean, that story was like a Jimmy. That was like a Jimmy answer. It took a half hour to get the answer. All I want to know is how we got the name Hattie.
I like the story. I like the story.
He's talking about his dog. He's talking about.
I like the whole story. And now it's the oldest daughter. How beautiful is that? Nick, how many kids do you have?
I have 3 daughters. Hattie's the oldest, but it's also my grandmother's name and my great-grandmother's name. So
now, the other 2 daughters,
thing.
no, it's gorgeous, but what are the other 2 daughters' names?
Vivian and Margreta. We call her Etta.
So are we thinking
so
about
we gotta
changing?
come up with something.
I was going to say, I think we have to change, it should be the next door should be
or maybe some major special dishes.
You got to come up with a sauce.
Or the loyalty program.
Yeah, you can't. It's not
I think
fair.
I'm going to do a bar called Little Sisters. That's
okay.
Yes,
and they can serve Hattie's chicken.
Hattie's chicken. We got to get involved with that. Little Sisters Bar. That's a good name, by the way.
Yeah.
I just spoke to my trademark attorney. We've got that nailed down already. So Nick, you
move
deal.
quickly. I love the name. Thank you for sharing that.
We'll use a Z instead of an S. But so it's a family name. We're restaurants have always been about family for us, so it was an easy choice to make.
Love that.
I love it. Hey, listen, you guys are operators. I mean, Todd, you're an accountant, so you came in there because you're a bean counter. Nick's a restaurant guy like me, so we need a lot of help. We need all the help we can get. We're not just accounting help. We need mental health. We need physical health. We need a lot of help. So you came in, and you're their accountants, and you obviously saw something going on there, and something drew you to leaving your accounting business to become partners in Hattie B's. Can you give us a little about that story?
Yeah, you're right. They started out as a client of mine, and over the years,
you guys are making money hand over fist. I gotta wiggle my way in.
Just took on more and more roles throughout the years, but it really came down to the people. Nick and his dad are great people that you just want to spend time with, and I saw something special in the brand, but also in the people that were behind it, and as one of the guys on our teams likes to say, they're the kind of people that you want to kick the sheets off every day for. And so inspiring, motivating, but the chicken was so good, the branding was so good, I knew it was going to be a success, and I wanted to be a part of it.
Well, let's talk a little about branding, okay? Because operators, that's something that we as operators don't generally it's not our forte. We're making great food. We're hospitality, making people feel good, enjoying. Let's talk about marketing. I mean, and growing a brand like Hattie B's. There was an article in Food and Wine magazine. Jimmy's one of his favorite reads. He reads the Business Week, Forbes, and Food and Wine.
And The Onion.
He loves The Onion. And they were talking about where chefs eat. And that really puts you guys on the map because chefs, we're all talking about Hattie B's as just unbelievable. So now you guys just kind of got into mainstream media, but now you guys are doing a lot with social media too. Talk a little about that and your media strategy and the new Shut the Cluck Up challenge happening on Instagram at this moment right now. Shut the cluck up.
My daughter's going to love that. Shut the cluck up.
Oh, man. So let's talk about that.
Go ahead, Nick.
Nick, come on, man. Accountant. We'll talk numbers with him. Right now, we're talking marketing.
Look, Jackie, look what we got coming in here.
Whoa. What do we got here? Holy moly.
This is a moment.
This is
we're stalling a little bit.
Is that we're stalling? I didn't know what was going on.
We got hot.
We got shut. Oh, we got to eat the shut the cluck up.
We got damn hot.
We might be having a live version of Shut the Cluck Up.
And we got a live version of Shut the Cluck Up. Oh my God!
All right, so I got to eat Shut the Cluck Up.
What should we be biting into on camera live in the studio? Should we just go right to the Shut the Cluck Up?
Is that the one we're supposed to eat?
How interesting do you want the podcast to be?
Is Shut the Cluck Up the hottest?
Yeah.
There's damn hot and Shut the Cluck Up.
I'm gonna start with hot.
Yeah, I better start with hot.
To pace myself.
Yeah.
And to get a feeling.
All right, so let's hear about this new marketing strategy.
Yeah.
And who came up with it? Why I'm taking a bite of this.
Yeah, our food is very experiential, right? Like you got all these different heat levels you can try. You can do just Southern, which is no heat, all to cluck up, which will get you pretty good. I think the medium and hot are kind of the best examples of flavor.
This is
spice,
delicious, by the way.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
so
good.
excited.
I'm glad
I was
you
so
enjoyed
excited
it.
to share this episode with my daughter because she'd love to shut the cluck up. And you just ruined it. You just ruined it. You ruined it. You ruined it. Nick, my daughter's 7. Trying to keep her away from the F-bombs. Look at Uncle Shatzy just
That's
did.
right.
Sorry to interrupt you, Nick.
Yeah, just switch it out with cluck.
Get him cluck. She's gonna love the cluck. I'm about to try the damn hot. The hot had pretty much heat for me. The hot was heat. I'm a lightweight guy when it comes to heat. I'm not lightweight, just lightweight when it comes to heat.
It's a pretty big jump between hot and damn hot. So
tell us about this shut the cluck up marketing strategy and the challenge happening. And can Jimmy and I, do Jimmy and I have a chance of winning this challenge?
You're unknowingly participating.
I just ate hot. How do you win, and what do you win?
I just ate damn hot. Damn hot.
I don't know that there's any. I don't know that anyone wins. It's a way to experience food and involve our guests who are a big part of what we do, and to really try to be authentic and show up in a real way, and kind of an example of what it's like every day in our restaurants. People that look like that, Chatsy.
I'm sweating with hot. I thank God I didn't eat the clucking one.
I just went to shut the cluck up.
You got any milk around there, guys? So you may want some milk.
Wow.
Shut the cluck up. You gotta chase it with milk. Wow. All right. That's our episode, everybody.
All right, Jimmy can't even go. Jimmy can't even ask his next question.
That was awesome. All right, listen. I do want to jump in. We know you guys have an awesome. I apologize. I'm all over the place here. I forgot. We're down here. Here we go.
Jimmy gets thrown off for a loop.
It's disorienting. It happens.
By the way, this is my Instagram moment. Not a great moment for me, but an honest moment. There is heat. The room is kind of foggy. I have to tell you, the screen is a little blur. I'm enjoying the chicken, but I have to say, from the back of my throat to my eyes, my glasses are getting a little.
Jimmy sweats without eating hot chicken. He's a chronic sweater.
This is good stuff. All right, hospitality industry, truly unique. And I like to say that unlike other industries I've been involved with and certainly invested in, I've never seen an industry where there's such a maybe false sense of familiarity because everybody feels they're an expert in hospitality. Maybe they can cook something. They know how to go out and eat. They can order food or order online without being so they think they're an expert. But the fact is, this industry has an amazing workflow. And there's an element of complexity. I don't know any industry where the manufacturing facility, we call it the kitchen, and the retail facility, we call it the dining room, are literally a wall or less than a wall apart. That is so unique. But as insiders, you guys know how complex this industry really is in the workflow. So let's bring this back to fried chicken. And it's very personal. It's experiential, as you said. Everyone's got their favorite recipes and their preferences. There's no shortage of fried chicken, but it is right now the hottest protein going, so people are really into it. Can you share more about, Hattie B's X Factor? What separates Hattie B's from the flock? And yes, that was an intentional play on words. By the way, I'm sweating out of my hat now.
I love you bringing in flock and hot.
What is the X Factor for Hattie B's?
We love puns.
Podcast gold
Todd,
right there.
Our people we got incredible people, and it's allowed us to grow this organization. And a lot of people are really bought into this shared sort of sense of ownership and mission, and trying to make our communities better and make great food and be places people want to come spend their free time. And so, I think our people is what makes us special. Our food's great, our service is great. The experience at the restaurant's great, but it all starts with the people. So
I love it. So many we have so many great operators on the podcast. Not as good as you, obviously. I mean, you're the best we've ever had, without a doubt. But it is great to hear that you can have great food, you can have great design and great stores, but it really is most of the folks we bring in. They always bring it back to the people because. Especially when you start opening up more stores, and you guys have, 30, 40 stores now?
Only 13.
13,000 stores right now? So you got 13,000 stores. If you're going to have that many stores, Jim, you're going to have a great team because, all kidding aside, it really, the culture that you guys have built over there, I mean, that's how you get it going, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sorry, my apology, guys.
The word's overused a little bit, but authenticity is kind of key to who we are. Is we're actually from Nashville, which is in the name of Nashville hot chicken.
Yeah.
But Hattie B's is a brand, like, we care about the history of hot chicken, where it came from, and we do things a more traditional way. We serve bone in. We've got a pickle on top. We've got white bread on the bottom.
I did not get a pickle
since the 1940s.
Todd, I got no pickle.
Have to talk to somebody there in the office.
Yeah, I think that might be on our end.
I didn't get a pickle. Who do I speak to about that? I would have loved a pickle. I love it. Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense. Hey, let's dive into tech. All right, technology, because I know restaurants are not big. They don't embrace tech like other industries embrace tech. Certainly, the last couple of years, things have changed. But tech plays a big role in restaurants today, like in other industries, and we're a little late to the game. So let's talk. Todd, you're more the tech guy, right? So what kind of tech are you bringing in to enhance the guest experience? And can you share more about some of your favorite tech tools and your tech stack and the strategy going forward as you continue to grow and have to engage with customers and social media? And it all ties together. And, is loyalty part of it? Talk to me a little about your tech stack and your thinking and how you're growing that. As Jimmy's got to wipe his head down right now.
I think as technology goes, we don't want to be on the bleeding edge of it. Our that's not our brand. We feel like for our brand, we embrace technology, but it needs to be more behind the scenes. I think guest-facing technology for Hattie B's has a certain place, but if you do too much of it for our brand, I think
it loses
some of the soul, some of the experience.
Right? Yeah, the authenticity goes. Sure. So you guys are more tech forward in the back of the house.
Yeah, so I look at it like if we have technology that can enhance the hospitality element, which is making the ordering process easier, better, quicker.
Yep.
All for that. Efficiency in the back of house, making the food come out more fresh, more efficient. And then on the training side, it's super important. So we've got a couple tools that we are really enjoying. One of those is really on the hiring side. We're using a company called Paradox. I know there's a number of similar tools out there now, but we've been using them for a couple of years, and they've got an AI kind of
Todd, please refrain from mentioning any technology companies that have not paid a sponsorship role here. That is, we'll have to edit that out. I don't know this Paradox company, but I know they ain't paying me, so I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Talk about Paradox. I'll make a song for them. I don't care. Paradox.com for all your workforce management needs.
I need to talk about some that you guys have an investment in. So
exactly. Only talk about companies that we've invested in. Okay, please refrain from mentioning Paradox again. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
We're also using a personality assessment tool for managers that is kind of embedded in that, so we can kind of self-select for people that are more hospitalitarians, and so found that tool pretty helpful. We're using some new smart timers in the kitchen these timers actually talk to each other. So when we're moving food from one place to another, we're less reliant on people to remember to start the timer. And so that's an automated timer system. It's also got screens so we can embed our e-learning right into those. So if there's a new hire and he can't remember how to clean the fryer, boom, just click this box. You can see a little GIF of the training video. So things like that is kind of where we're focused right now.
That makes a lot of sense.
Robots yet.
No, I thought all that was really great. And I particularly appreciate, Brandon's heavily involved with the tech and innovation side and deploying capital and trying to participate in the digitization of this industry. But we also know this is not a technology industry. This industry is about people. It's about the food and beverage. It's about the experience. That is what the guests expects. I mean, we don't even call our customers. We call them guests. To me, the tech is a supporting actor, and the way you just framed it, Todd, is perfect. You know the tech can be helpful, it can be creative, but you don't want to be so out there on the curve that your guests feel that somehow they've entered into a venue that somehow is somewhat sterile because it's not the authentic experience they're looking for from Hattie B. So I hope that ends up being one of the great clips from this. And I'm talking about what you shared, because you don't need to be so out the curve that you've lost that feel with your guest. I want to talk maybe something kind of extending what I just shared about, you said authentic. We know the importance of having a great product, and you guys have a fabulous product. And please note, Chatsy did not eat the cluck version. He stayed away from
the hottest one. Why would I do that?
I'm the one that this entire episode is basically an Instagram.
You said you were going to start out with a hot.
Yes.
Didn't that give you an indication of you went right from the hot, skip damn hot,
I did 3 bites.
To the
hot,
mother.
What the cluck? Because I got to tell you, this thing's going to live with me for the rest of the day. And that's okay. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the sweat. But I want to talk about, it's not just about the product. It's also about the culture. And you guys really care deeply. And you talked about the people and how the success starts with your corporate culture, and then leadership starts at the top. So Shatsy and I are affectionately known. He's the restaurant guy, I'm the finance guy. We try to stay in our own respective lanes. But at the end of the day, we're a small company. I understand at Hattie B's, Todd, you're known as the head. Nick, you're known as the heart. Can you share a little bit more about
I thought it was a tail. I thought Todd was a tail. Yeah, head.
No,
tail.
he's Todd's the head of the biz. Nick's the heart of the biz.
Who's the tail of the biz?
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you about a donkey and a tail, and I'll tell you I'm looking at my donkey and a tail. Can you share a little bit more about the leadership roles? And you guys have your 4 pillars, and kind of how you work off internally and externally. Can you share a little about that? Because I think it's really important. Nick is pointing to the sign.
Nick's pointing to the sign. Nick short. He's got a really big head too.
Is awesome.
Smile and hustle.
Smile and hustle. Smile and or smile with.
Say it again.
Smile and hustle, or smile with hustle.
Smile and hustle. That's one of them.
So Nick, share the culture.
That's just the default. Yeah, look, it's the biggest part of it. I mean, a business that truly can make an impact in people's lives and the communities we're in has to have something substantial in the way of culture and something that's legit and meaningful. And so we put a lot of energy into being members of each community we're in and finding people from those communities to run our stores and be our ambassadors. But it is a key component of every decision we make. And when we do find ourselves a little off or trying to kind of find our way, we've got a couple things that we say to each other, or lenses we look through to try to get us back on track. And Smile and Hustle is one of them. And Todd, you want to do? I know you are refamiliarizing yourself.
Yeah, what are our 4 pillars? Yeah, Smile and Hustle. Get to yes is another one important to us, and that just
Jimmy's write that one down. Jimmy's probably going to put that in his newsletter this week, the hospitality headline. He likes that one.
I like it. No, I use that a lot. Yeah. I approach
these
things.
are all trademarked, so just make sure you use the proper.
I give attribution. I approach things. Look, I'm an optimist.
Touché.
I try to be a realistic optimist, but I approach things like, how do we get to? Can we get to yes? How do we get there? Approach it with enthusiasm and positivity. If we can't, which by the way, I think our investment rate, I think we're well under 4%, maybe even under 3% now of companies we look at that we get to yes.
Yeah.
We want to get to yes, but about 3% of the time we get to yes.
100%?
100% of the time.
100%, yeah, 100% of the time. 3%. Yeah, no question about it. Yeah, no, it's really cool. I got to tell you, we had some.
I got one more thing to do.
Okay.
I think I must have done something right this week because I once again have the privilege, and if you want to have some lead-in music, I get to break some news.
You got breaking news?
I got the breaking news. Hattie B's has just rolled out its breakfast menu for the very first time. That's our breaking news theme song. And anyone involved with ABC's Meet the Nation or whatever that was called, just keep your cease and desist letters to yourself. But can you share a little more about this new category, the new buffin? I understand the buffin. I think, and that's trademark, Todd. Don't worry, I'm not going to mess around with the buffin. But I'm guessing that might be a biscuit and a muffin. But share with our listeners, your breakfast menu you've just rolled out at Hattie B's.
Yeah, we just started it in our Franklin store. It's our newest Nashville location. We've been doing a hot chicken biscuit, or we've done chicken and waffles and grits for years now, and whether it's been at an event or on Sundays for brunch, and has slowly evolved into kind of a full-time breakfast menu. And we also recognize that everybody wants to start the day with hot chicken, so you can just get Southern fried chicken biscuits. And we've got the Buffin is not actually live yet, so you broke I don't even know what that is, but it is a real
news
thing
that hasn't even happened yet. We do that a lot.
Yeah.
You know what? This is the AI.
So far ahead.
This is the artificial intelligence that we are predictive analytics said.
That's
you know
right.
what? Hattie B's is going to launch a Buffin.
I love it.
No,
Jimmy
it's an incredible.
He's an ideas man.
Incredible
He's an ideas man. He's always been an ideas man.
I'm writing that down.
Way ahead.
You guys can have that one for free. You guys gave us delicious chicken.
Jimmy, I got to skip the rest.
So yeah,
all right.
We gotta skip the name of that recipe.
All right.
That didn't go over so well yesterday.
Well, let's talk about let's
I'm going right to hot or not.
Let's play the game.
Let's go right to hot or not. Because I got to tell you, hot or not is something that I think.
Never had it, so I'm gonna go not just to be different.
Jimbo?
You know what? I want to be a little risque here. That the paid reservations was a not, and I'm cool with that. A topic that keeps coming up, and we're seeing it a lot, is just it's become this whole like secondary market of reservations, and there's these platforms that have launched. And I don't want to lead. You guys aren't witnesses, and I don't want to lead the witness. But we're at the end of the day, we're hospitality guys. We own and operate some restaurants here in New York. So I have a certain view of how technology platforms should work with operators. But my question to you guys on the reservations: how do you guys feel about this whole secondary market emerging and people trying to essentially resell reservations? You guys are owner operators. You put your heart and soul into your stores. What do you think about this emerging secondary market for reservations?
Yeah, not a fan. And I do understand the paid reservation. You know, I mean, it's a layer of protection for the restaurants, and have certainly seen people cancel reservations last minute or had something come up, or we've had to do it. And so I respect that. But we actually are being both golfers. This is actually happening in California with public golf courses, and these guys are reselling tee times.
Oh, you're making tee times and reselling them?
It's the same thing.
But the golf course isn't making any money on that.
No, not at all. No, and so I don't have any respect for that. That's a bunch of bull.
Todd, any comments you want to add? Anything you want to add on that?
No, I think that's spot on. I mean, it feels a little slimy. I think restaurants should be level playing field. Whoever wants can find the time and make a reservation should be able to make one, and the money shouldn't get you to the front of the
there's
list.
a lot of bots that are going up, and like, someone says like at 9 a.m. the reservation opens up on like Open Table or Resi or whatever. And then bots just, and then you go in at like 9:30. There's none left.
No, I guess it was inevitable if you think about it that they attacked sporting events.
With
The brokers,
tickets,
they did concerts, and now the artists have to go out of their way to layer in hurdles, and it's like good versus evil. And here, the restaurant industry really very graciously is willing to let you reserve. And they're not charging you. And as you said, Nick, we don't want to be in the paid reservation. You can, if you have to cancel, we'll redeploy it. And the restaurants are kind of acting in this goodwill, good faith. And here are these, intermediaries, brokers, without permission of the restaurant, usurping and basically taking on the reservations to resell. I really find it to be a bad act.
Yeah. It's very different than a restaurant saying, this reservation at 8 o'clock on a Friday, it comes with a premium.
Yes.
That's very different because the restaurant's participating in that.
We're on the side of operators. If there are things that could help the operators engage better with their guests, we're always going to work with operators to figure that out. This seems like it could not be more antithesis of that, of not being on the side of the operators, and in fact, taking their essentially free inventory that they're willing to give to guests and then monetizing it without the operator's permission or sharing. But anyway,
all right, so paid reservations.
No, the paid reservations would be hot. We could reframe that if we're comparing it off of a secondary reservation market.
But like at Hattie
damn
B's,
hot.
if I told you that your busiest night was Friday night between the hours of 7 and 10, and if you wanted to come into Hattie B's, it might cost you a couple extra bucks on Friday night at 8 o'clock. But that's your decision to do that. And Hattie B's making a couple extra bucks. I'm all for it. No.
Right. No. Yeah. I think if those are kind of the options, but thankfully we're a pretty democratic process. You get in line, you wait in line.
Yes.
We ate there yesterday with the group and waited in line in our own restaurant because that's just the way things.
I like it. The
go.
democratic process.
Listen to me. Which
Practice what you
restaurant
preach.
did you wait in line, and which one?
The Charlotte Avenue store, our second location.
All right, listen. I'm just telling you, Nick. I come down to visit you. I'm not waiting in line. All right.
I know you're not.
I'm not
it's all
waiting
right.
online. Come on, man. If I'm going with you, it's VIP, man. You're the owner. I figure. This guy's not waiting online. I'm with Nick. I don't wait online.
Nick, I'm okay to wait online. I want to play.
The big dogs jump to the front of the line.
Yeah,
we'll make it.
You're with Nick and Todd. They own the place. You go right to the front of the line.
I'm okay to hang with the people, hang with the regulars. And
Jimmy's a man of the people.
It's fun. You get to hear them talking about it, and you get to hear like what they want to. It's a cool experience.
Lines can be a good time. You can have a good time on a line. Listen, Chatsy and I started this podcast. We like chatting. Clearly, we like asking questions, but we also learned along the way that sometimes our guests, in this case, our guests, may have a question for us. So let's kick off talking back. We like to say no question is off the table. Nick, Todd, the microphone, my friends, are yours.
Well, I'd love to learn a little something from you guys, being you're tech focused. Would love to know from your side, what's the biggest restaurant tech trend you see in the next 3 to 5 years?
I got to be honest with you. I think we were just talking a little bit about it, to be honest with you. I think revenue management, we've seen it in hotels. We've seen it in airlines. You're seeing it in rental cars. You're seeing it with the ride share. I think revenue management is something that a lot of people are really looking at right now is how do prices change according to supply and demand, just like a hotel. So I think it hasn't been solved and figured out 100% yet, but I see us moving in that direction. But I think Jimmy always likes to point out it has to be done with transparency and with communication. You're not looking ripping people off. You're just, I want to go down to Florida Christmas week from New York. I know that ticket of an airline is going on an airplane is going to be 3 to 4 times what it is in the middle of January. It just is. Is the airline ripping me off? No, not ripping me off. They're just supply and demand. You want to go?
I like your answer, Shatz. We certainly want restaurants to certainly have every opportunity, every tool to succeed because we believe in content. And when it comes to the restaurant industry, the content is the Hattie B's experience. It's the Hattie B's people. It's the food. It's the service, and that's what people are paying for. We certainly want the restaurant industry and operators like yourselves to have the tools that can allow you to succeed. And revenue management, we think, is important. I do think that's a really challenging area, as we saw with Wendy's. Even getting accused of saying something they didn't say about surge pricing, because I think the relationship guests have with venues is just so materially different than we have with an airline or a hotel, where we understand that the prices are going to be different. So it's a really sensitive area that I do think we have to attack. I would say, to me, Todd, to your question, something that is right now still, it's not new, but I still think the operators, and according to the restaurant report we just saw, the operators are still begging for a loyalty program that allows operators to engage on a personal basis with its guests to earn that greater share of wallet. And while we know there's a lot of really good loyalty companies out there, what we're hearing from the operators still is they needed to be better. They needed to really allow the brand to shine with its audience. And so I think that's a wonderful challenge for the loyalty companies, because they're there, they're working, it's getting better. But I have to say that the feedback we got from operators was they want to see it be more representative of the brand and more personal. And at the end of the day, the operators like yourselves who engage in the loyalty program will earn a greater share of their loyalty and their wallet, because they feel that kinship. That's something I think we're.
Do you guys have a loyalty program?
We do, and it's pretty basic right now. So you can count us as one of those operators that would love a better system.
Is it digital or is it analog? Is it like a punch card still?
Yeah, it's digital, but it's basically, spend X, get X. Yep. And we really want to personalize it. Yep. We want to do some fun things where we can connect with guests. Baby. That's right.
Yeah.
It's a hot area.
Because I think people are I think the big guys like Dunkin' and Starbucks and even some of the retailers, they've had the resource to create some really robust platforms. And I think the smaller folks are saying that's what the consumer wants, but the smaller folks maybe haven't been able to get that for resources and costs and things.
But here's my 2 cents on that. My 2 cents on that. The big guys, their ability, or the legacy players, the largest brands, their ability to be agile and change is really difficult. I'm betting on the emerging brands, the Hattie B's of the world, who I feel can actually embrace such a program and leapfrog over its competition.
They love it, Jimmy. That's probably the crowd. You're an ambassador, like a country or something.
I'm saying this is going to be your moment.
They love you.
You're going to leapfrog because
it was Jimmy Frischling there.
Yes, there you go. I'm like George Costanza. I got to go now. I have no upside.
It's just unbelievable. Everyone. We've been talking for 40 minutes. No one said. No one clapped. Yep. You start talking, everyone starts clapping. Unbelievable. It really is. All right, listen, I got to tell you, it was a great question. It's really interesting stuff. We got to jump into the branded quickfire, guys, because these guys got to go make some more hot sauce.
Yes.
And I can't wait
I need to get a quart of milk.
All right, exactly. All right, we're going to jump into a little branded quickfire. Are you ready? This is the greatest segment of all segments in not just this podcast, but all podcasting throughout the entire world. I will ask you both a question, 5 questions, lightning round, lightning fast, and you just tell me the first thing comes to your mind. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. Nick, first to you.
Yes.
If you could eat dinner with anyone in the world, dead or alive, who would it be?
My answer is John Prine. He was a mentor and boss of mine who passed away during COVID, and I would love to go back and have one more cheeseburger with him at Brown's Diner.
That's beautiful. Todd, same question.
I'll go with Arnold Palmer.
That guy really is a golfer, huh?
No explanation needed.
No. Nick, what's your favorite phone app? You can't live without this, baby.
Oh, man. I love the New York Times puzzle app, all the games app. I love the word games, try to keep. Yeah, Wordle or the Beehive one.
I don't know, Todd. Doesn't seem like Nick's working very hard. I'm just.
But yeah,
maybe
I can get lost on the Nike app. Yeah. I can get lost on the Nike app. Customizing
screen time on Nick's phone and just see exactly what he does during the day. It sounds to me like he's playing video games. Todd, how about you?
It's probably less productive, though.
Yeah, it's probably less productive. Because Todd's digging into the numbers trying to make money while Nick's wordling.
Let's hear Nick's.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Waze. I'm horrible at directions, so I turn it on all the time.
I use Waze just to navigate my office. I really do. It's very complicated up here.
I like knowing where the cops are.
I gotta be honest with you. It's like the old radar detectors used to have. That's what Waze is for me, man. I love it. I love it. And when you're on the highway, you see everyone slow down because everyone's using Waze, you know? All right, Nick, would you rather choose a flight upgrade or a hotel room upgrade? Well, where are you going? Are you going flight upgrade? You going from like Comfort Plus to First, or are you going from like, the Garden View room to the Ocean View? What are you picking?
If I'm by myself, I'm going to go flight. If I'm with my family, I'll go hotel.
I like it. Todd, same question.
Yeah, that's a great answer. I'm going flight.
All right, here's where things get a little weird. Okay, because we did this question the other day, and it's just interesting. Jimmy's going to check.
I'm going to check mine.
Nick, what's your Uber rating right now on the Uber app? How do you stand up to the rest? Because I've been told that ratings really matter.
Hold on, I'll pull it up.
All right, Nick.
I don't even know how to look at that.
What do you got there?
4.92.
Wow.
This guy must tip like a motherfucker.
Look, he's a gentleman.
Oh, my God. Nick goes down the block. He's tipping $10. He's tipping more than the fare. Todd,
what do you got?
Could you beat that?
I cannot because I can't get into my app, so apologize for that.
New phone. That means he's got
new phone situation.
Oh man, Nick, he's under 4.
You know what? We've done this question.
The head's
like
smart and doesn't overtip.
We've done this question once before.
He's an accountant. He doesn't tip at all.
We've done this once before, and Shatsy fully admitted that he is difficult on Uber drivers, especially when we're going to the airport and
they go the wrong way. I'm sorry.
He has a way that he likes to go, and he's going to tell that driver in a less than congenial manner what he expects them to do. And so Shatsy was saying, he's a little difficult on Uber drivers, but the rub here, the punchline of this joke is, I pick Shatsy up. It's my Uber ride.
So you're getting knocked on it.
So I sit there silently as Shatsy berating the driver because he or she may have taken a turn that Shatsy didn't like. And I'm like, it's my account. You're hurting my score.
On Jimmy's permanent record.
Jimmy, we're going to LaGuardia from the Upper East Side. The guy's taking a right turn going down the FDR. He's like, where's the Baritano? I mean, come on, Jimbo.
I have to beg the guy, please. It's my Uber. I'm not the one bitching at you.
Anyway, all right, listen. Ratings matter, Jimmy. You have to check here. What was your rating?
Right.
486.
That's not bad at all, Jimbo. So maybe you haven't picked me up in a while, though.
I haven't picked you up in a while.
Yeah. All right, let's just get a little fun here because, Nick, I think you'll appreciate that because you seem to really enjoy video games. If you were to challenge Jimmy Ride to the old OG Mike Tyson Punch-Out on the old Nintendo, remember that?
Yeah, absolutely. Little Mac.
It's like, damn right, I got it in my office right now.
Yeah, it's right here.
85-inch Samsung. Who do you have better odds of beating the old Mike Tyson Punch-Out, Nick?
Well, out of you two?
Yeah.
I'm coming for you, Shatsy.
Yeah,
I feel like you've got a big bark, but you may have a soft spot. You might have a soft spot like they did in Mike Tyson, where if you just get them once.
Yeah, and they spin. The guy spins around.
Yes. Brahma Bull.
Exactly. Todd, who can you beat Mike Tyson Punch Out?
I'll go Jimmy. I think he plays less video games as the finance guy.
Yeah. Jimmy's last television show he saw, I think it was like, what was it? What's that one with? It's like,
glad you're cracking yourself up here. Nick Todd, talking about.
Because I'm trying to think the one. The Facts of Life.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Jimmy watched the Facts of Life with Tootie.
I'm a little behind in my TV watching. Todd, actually, I agree with your statement. I was prepared to be picked on both of these. I was going to take it as a pride of honor that Shatsy actually is playing a ton of video games. I think he'd be the tougher one to beat because I'd be like, what game is this? How do you with Nintendo? In all seriousness, guys, all serious. We're so serious. We want to thank you guys for doing the podcast with her and having some fun and also dropping some knowledge and bringing really introducing Hattie B's to our audience. We do think you guys have a tremendous brand, and none of that is easy. And I think Todd used the word authentic, and he said that word often gets overused. But the fact is, there is an authenticity to what you guys are doing. And I'll say this: the biggest secret ingredient for brands like yours. It'll sound like I'm joking around. I'm really not. It is love. It is you guys care deeply about your guests, your team, your products, and that's really what shines through. So we appreciate you guys being on the podcast with us. Oh, thank you, Shatsy.
That's not me, Jimmy.
Thank you.
That's the fans.
Thank you.
When you say things like that, it hits home.
Thank you. If any of our listeners want to get in touch with the crew at Hattie B's directly, Nick and Todd.
I think it's is it Hattie or Hottie?
I think it's Hattie.
It's Hattie.
Yeah.
Hattie B. I'm sorry if I did that.
The data thing.
Data. If you want to get in touch with Nick or Todd directly, you can email the podcast team at podcast@brandedstrategic.com, and we'd be happy to make the introduction, the connection. And I'll end with just thanking our listeners. We're well over 200 episodes now of the Hospitality Hangout, and none of that's possible without you guys, our listeners, and continuing to embrace our infotainment, bringing in interesting.
We're going to hit 100,000 monthly listeners, Jimmy.
100,000 monthly listeners.
We're going to hit. We haven't yet.
Want to thank QSR Automation.
10 more years, I think we'll get there.
Got to give them a shout out. So, fellas, a big thank you to you, and I want to pass it back to my boy Shatsy to close this out.
Thanks, everybody. Listen, if you want to find out about Hattie B's, what's the URL? Is it just HattieBees.com, or what do we got?
Hattie B with no S. HattieB.com.
HattieB.com. Listen, everybody, go check out HattieB.com. Find out if there's one near you. If you get down in Nashville, I highly recommend you check this out. If you're in Vegas at the Cosmo,
at Block 16,
I got to tell you something. You got to check it out. The food is really, really good.
Yep.
And it really shows that you guys give a about the food and your team, because it's damn good.
It's damn good.
It really is. So listen.
Get the cluck out of here.
No, really. That's what it is. Now, my last thing I want to say, anyone listening, if you are bored on Saturday morning at like, I'd say 6 o'clock in the morning, and if you're old as dirt like me and Jimmy, you basically, you don't sleep like you did when you were in college. My kids sleep till 4, you know what I mean? You're up at like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning. Now, it just happens. You don't even need an alarm clock, So if you're bored and looking for a good read, check out the Hospitality Hangout, Hospitality Headline, HospitalityHeadline.com. It is the sister to the Hangout. So we got the Hangout podcast on Tuesdays, and every Saturday morning we got the Headline. I got to tell you, it is filled with nuggets of fun, entertainment, and knowledge. Jimmy's dropping knowledge. Highly recommend it. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, guys.